Are you insane, Richie boy? Mod 1 gearing on a WLTOYS 144001? Well, yours truly has managed to squeeze it in, so we should be able to attain that brushless power. And the next video you will see will be the runtime video, fingers crossed, of this car running on 3S, because I've got the battery somewhere behind me ready to plug into this thing. If you're thinking the Mod 1 gearing is going to be really noisy, Rich, this is at a low speed. Not too bad. Even at high speed, it's quite quiet because I've managed to set the mesh pretty darn good, if I say so myself, on the back. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fit Mod 1 gearing to your 144001, meaning that you can have a wide range of gear ratios, even if you're not fitting a brushless motor like I've done, even if you've got the stock one. With a few simple changes, you're going to be able to fit Mod 1 gearing, giving you a great deal more options when it comes to WLTOYS 144001. This mod should take about 10 to 15 minutes if you follow everything in this video. Anyway, if you've got one of these or are thinking about getting one, link to this car below the video by the way, then I feel sure this conversion will be of interest, as it will enable you to fit a wide range of gears to this car. Quite simple conversion, should be done in under about 15 minutes if you follow this video. Speaking of which, let's get straight down to it. If you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. First of all, you're going to remove these 6 screws, 2 at this end, 2 here, another 2 here, and then when you've removed those, you're also going to undo the 2 holding this little metal bar down. The reason for that will become apparent when I remove this piece of plastic down the centre. Now, having it undone the brushless motor wires or your motor leads that you might have if you're still running the stock one, that will then give you access to the drive shaft. However, the drive shaft is also held down by this metal bar here, so hence the need to remove these 2 screws. Now, once you remove this bar and put it safely to the side, you're going to need to get access to the front differential and the rear differential. There are 6 screws at the front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under there, and the rear one is held down by a similar number at the back. As you'll see, with the front 6 screws removed, the diff cover simply pops back out of the way. Now time to do the same at the rear. Now with the same 6 screws removed at the rear, the central drive shaft and the all important spur gear can come out like that. Now at this point, I would point out you need to fit a different motor mount in order to do this modification. I'll put a link to it below the video. It's a motor mount from an A959 or 979 from WLTOYS, which is a normal motor. The original motor mount with this is completely fixed. You can't move the motor around at all. This is a conventional motor mount with 2 slots in it, so you can move the pinion from side to side, enabling you to fit different pinion gears. Now for the next part of this, you're going to need a measure, because you're going to measure down from the top face of this gear edge up until the top there, which is approximately 2.1 centimeters on there, but you will need to check that on your own car. But 2.1 centimeters is what I'm showing from the top of this gear cover to the face of this one. We're then going to remove this gear assembly, these 2 bearings and the spur gear here. In order to do that, you need to undo this tiny little screw on here. When doing it for the first time, you may want to put some heat on there to avoid stripping the thread on the screw, because I think it's Loctited in. With that screw undone, the gear simply pulls away. Hold those 2 parts carefully. Now your next job is simply to remove the spur gear, and that slides off the shaft, leaves this bearing on the end of it. Now that bearing was used with the original motor mount, but with the one I've got in place there, that is no longer necessary. Now remove the original pinion from the car. Okay, now when it comes to fitting the Mod 1, this is a pinion, but effectively it's now going to become the spur. When you're putting it back on, you're going to want the grub screw hole level with the very last bit of the flat on here in order to get the clearance, because if you put it on the other way around, this collar will be too near to here, and the plastic diff cover will then catch on that cover if it's the opposite way around. So it needs to be this way around. As for these 2 bearings moving up and down, don't have to worry about that too much, as they locate in a little slot in the bottom of the diff cover. With the gearing back in place, you will now see the 2 bearings just slightly apart. They're sitting in 2 grooves at the back of the car, and the same at the front of the car there. Now it's time to get those 6 screws back in, and those 6 screws back in. All the screws back in place, as say, front 6 on that diff, rear 6 on that diff, and then 2 holding the cover down at each end. And all I've got to do now is fit my new pinion gear, getting my aerial wire out the way. Now this cover I did have to use the Dremel bit on the inside to just waste that down a little bit in order to make it sure it clear, but that would obviously depend on the size of on your Mod 1 pinion gears. This is quite a thick one, some a little bit narrower, won't fit with these, so it's something to be aware of there. Next we saw some Mod 1 pinion about the same diameter as the existing pinion. Now I will point out you've got a 5mm internal diameter hole on the shaft, so you will need one of these little adapters sleeves that goes inside the gear, and that simply pushes home like that. Now to fit the new pinion gear, here you will see a better view of that motor mount I fitted. As I mentioned there, it's got the 2 slots on it, so you can undo the 2 screws and move it across, thus enabling you to fit a variety of pinion sizes. All my gearing in place. The last little job I've got to do, undo these, loosen these 2 screws, move the motor mount over so as to adjust the mesh on the gear. Okay, well I've adjusted the mesh on the gearing, so my Mod 1 gearing mod is now all ready to go and have a test run. Well, there we are. That's my WLTOYS 144001 brushless conversion with Mod 1 gearing, all ready to run again tomorrow on 3S. So if you don't want to miss that video, don't forget to subscribe. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.